Is it sharp, little dude?
Yeah, that thing's sharp as hell.
Welcome back to the channel, guys. Welcome back to Ironclad RC. Today we're going to be sharpening up a CNC propeller, an Oxidean propeller in particular. I'm going to show you guys how just to sharpen up the leading edge, it doesn't really take all that much. They really don't need to be done, but it actually helps performance, top end, and overall handling of the boat. Okay, so we're basically just going to sharpen up the leading edge. As you guys see, I've done this prop right here. It's pretty simple, and these propellers, they're CNC aluminum. They're so freaking light that you may be able to get away with doing this without a prop balancer. I recommend a prop balancer. For this, I actually using a couple little files. Okay, a sanding board that I made, homemade sanding board over a piece of foam, like 220. Okay, and then I've got one right here that's wore out. It's actually like 1,000 that I glued onto a foam board, and I use that to polish it once I'm done. You want a nice polished leading edge. Okay, so we're going to be sharpening up this 4516. It's a 45 millimeter diameter by 1.6 pitch. Okay, prop come fairly close. I mean, it's close. It basically stops anywhere. What I like to do is I'll start with this little micro file, and I try to keep my file on the edge at an angle. Maybe, what is that? Maybe 30-degree angle. Okay, get started with it. Kind of knock that anodize off on the leading edge right there. Okay, now a sharp propeller is gonna cut the water better. Okay, if you're experiencing a lot of like torque roll, chine walk type deal at high speeds, your propeller might need to be sharpened. If you're looking for high speed, sharpen your propeller. Cuts the water better, less drag, faster boat. Okay, so I actually got my initial little cut on it. Okay, so you guys can see where I'm going to be taking off the material. You can actually see where file mark is in relation to the leading edge, and kind of give you an idea of how much material you'll need to take off on the leading edge. If you don't have a balancer, try to do the same amount of filing on each blade. Okay, if you have a balancer, you can kind of go at it and balance it out as you go. Like, you don't want an aggressive file. This is like an older file, and it may take me a little while, so I'm going to fast forward through it. But you just want to keep that edge, that file on the edge, the same all the way around the propeller. Okay, all the way around. Kind of good profile shape right there. And I'm going to actually put a little bit of pressure on that bad boy, start taking off some material. I actually have this 3/16 shaft right here that I use, and I hold my prop with that. Okay, that helps. I also use this guy right here to balance my props. This is actually my go-to. This is what I use to balance all my propellers with. This is actually a 1-to-1 boat push-pull steering rod. Actually, I think this is the throttle cable. Okay, it hooks up to the throttle on the outboard, and then it goes to the gearbox there, and that's what I use. I just red Loctited a little drive dog on it to keep my propeller in place. If for some reason I got an out of balance hub, I actually use this, put a nut on it, and I can see where my hub is in relation to this perfectly round drive dog. Okay, I actually have another drive dog that I put on right here so I can look down it, if I have a bad hub. That's what I use, and I set it on my bench. I got a hole drilled in my bench right there, and it just kind of presses down into place. I flip that bad boy over, and I go to town. Okay, I go to town on it. I can actually get some really like controlled cut, okay? Especially when I'm cutting down new propellers, this thing's like invaluable. It's invaluable. So I basically got it taken down and sharpened up, all right? And this is the first time I'm putting it on a balancer, so let's see if it's balanced. Just, you know, if I were to do it and I guessed how much of material I'm taking off, you know, let's just see what it looks like here. I hadn't used my balancer in a while. Let's get her warmed up. A little bit of graphite lube on these pins right here. On this style Dubro balancer actually helps out a lot. This is a true spin balancer, so it actually looks like it's balanced. Yeah, check it out. They're so light, it's hard to get a readout with this thing with a CNC prop. So it's actually heavy, a little bit heavy on one side. Anything below this horizontal pin right here is heavy. So if you have a blade that's falling low every time, like that one right there, seems like it's got some weight to it. So anything below the pin you would take off. But this one right here is actually acting okay. It's actually acting alright. So I got it close, okay? I got it close. Alright, and that's what I'm after. Okay, so I worked it down with my file like you guys seen. Basically filed the edge, okay? I got a nice profile on it all the way around. It's actually took off more material than I was wanting to take off. I was trying to get it more like this one. But that's okay. That's okay. So what I'm going to do now is take my little sanding board, okay? Take this little sanding board and I'm going to drag it out like that, okay? Not back and forth on it. I'm going to go out every time. All right, hopefully my camera's focusing here. Same angle I had on my file. I'm just kind of cleaning up any of those file marks. You guys see the little file marks and little scratches in it. Okay, I'm just kind of tidying that up. The nice thing about these anodized propellers is they don't tarnish. Okay, like I run in salt water, brackish water a lot, and this aluminum, it'll tarnish. All right, so does beryllium. So I actually have to clean my beryllium props every time I get home from salt water. Like actually clean them, you know, or that right there happens, you know. It don't happen to an anodized propeller, so it's kind of nice, you know. So I'm just going to keep going right here. I'll probably fast forward through it. Same angle every stroke. Now I'm going to step it up to this like 1,000 grit. I can't even remember, man. It's probably like 2,000 grit now. But what I do, I put a little bit of oil. This is like an emery cloth, so I put a little bit of oil on it. Okay, and that just helps it slide without scratching. With this emery cloth with the oil on it, as you guys seen, I was working it down. I actually got her pretty shiny. Okay, got her pretty shiny. Alright, see how I got a nice profile here all the way around, kind of matches on both sides. See, really, I could stop right here. Alright, I'm actually happy with that finish right there. That's perfect. Okay, there's no big gouges anywhere. It looks pretty uniform. It's pretty shiny. Okay, like I said, I'd use the Never Dull and polish it, or you can break out the old Dremel, which I'm going to show you guys now. Use a Dremel with like a polishing wheel or something like that there. you know, a big polishing wheel. All right, and polishing compound. I got it somewhere. Don't know where it's at. This is what I like to do. All right, so I actually take that Never Dull, a strip of it, okay, and I'll turn my Dremel on. I'll turn my Dremel on low with this Never Dull, and I'll suck it right up onto my Dremel. Okay, you guys see that? I'll just let it suck right onto my Dremel. Makes a mess at first, but I don't care. Alright, and then I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to cut this little piece right here off. It's flapping around. This is just how I like to polish all my propellers. Okay, and then I'll take that Never Dull. Alright, and I'll just go right around that edge that I just sharpened. If I was doing the whole propeller, of course I would go over the whole prop and polish it up. Alright, this is what I do before I go for a high-speed run. I'll take this Never Dull on my balancer and polish my prop up every time I go for a high-speed run. Every friggin' time. Especially if I'm trying for high-speed numbers. Okay, I've even taken this with the Never Dull on my Dremel, and I'll take that bad boy and Dremel my freaking rudder, my strut, the whole freaking nine. I'm telling you, this is stuff I don't normally show you guys. Okay, so I got it. I got all my little microscopic marks off. She's nice and polished. Okay, feeling it. Okay, she's nice and sharp. All right. If you go at it like this, you're going to dull it out. So I try to keep that bad boy as flat as I can on the propeller, you know. All right, so the last little touch here, let's check for balance. All right, whenever I go to balance my prop, I wipe any oils off my propeller. Okay, make sure my hands are free of oil before I throw it on my balancing shaft. Okay, so I'm gonna get that all set up. So your propeller goes on your balancing shaft like so. Okay. One thing I've noticed, you've got to keep the spring tight. Okay, I've actually cut fuel line, and I've actually had to put a couple of them on there. All right, but it needs to be tight, or it won't hold the propeller on the cones. Okay, I've got freaking weighting compound on my fingers, oily, and it's wanting to slide, so we might not get a good reading. But let's check it out here. All right. So anything that falls lower than the center line is heavy. Okay, if it stops anywhere, then it's good to go. Alright, spin it. You watch for a heavy dropping blade. Okay, it's wanting to stop anywhere. I think she's good to go. Alright, if we had a blade that was falling low, okay, if it was falling low every time, we would take more material off that low blade. But you want it to stop anywhere, like that right there. Anywhere, okay? That's when you know you got a balanced propeller. I didn't take any off the outside diameter of the propeller. I just barely, like, sharpened the leading edge. Okay, you guys can kind of see the reflection, and you can kind of see how polished it is. There's no like gouges, there's no rough spots. It's polished to like a mirror finish almost, you know. So I'm gonna let you guys go. You know, I recommend using hand tools. You can use Dremels and all that, sanding stones and cutting wheels and all, but you don't really get the control you do with your hands, with hand tools, with files and sanding blocks. And Big B here with Ironclad RC. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to the channel.